Hi, we are live. Welcome on in. That break finished a while ago. I could have already started talking, but hi, welcome. We today are playing, more Sonic Origins. Specifically Sonic Origins because, I tried getting Sonic Air to run and it was kind of giving me trouble. So I'm just gonna play it safe and do, the Origins collection. I don't know if we'll finish the whole game. If not, we can pivot to something else very easily in order to actually finish the game. Next time, as the wrong profile. We can easily just pivot over to like the Game Gear games, which I've actually never played in full, so there's merit to going through some of those. I'm kind of debating like audio settings. I might start tweaking things after Sonic. Leave things alone for the Sonic games and start tweaking again. I swear I'm constantly adjusting settings though. I'm always just like chasing perfection for audio. So yeah, at some point I might try to mess around with settings a little bit more and see how that goes. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. I actually have a pretty distinct cutoff for today's stream for reasons that will be obvious if you know other streamers in this particular community. So I'll probably be on a different stream around 6, so I should get started with the game right now so we can actually get through everything with enough time. So I'm gonna pause this. Sorry, Nakanuma. Yeah, we're gonna hop into the game. It should be working. Is it working? It'd help if I actually had it displaying. I think I was experimenting with something that made it not show up. Game seems really quiet today. It seems quieter than last time. I have no clue what's going on there. But I know Sonic games can be kind of loud, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Alright, one more game to go in this quick look of the original Sonic trilogy as part of Fox Girls Favorites. This is the big one. This is the one that people really like. In a lot of cases, people kind of debate Sonic 2 and 3 a lot, but I think both are very good games. I think 3 and Knuckles fundamentally are a better game, especially if you take both of them combined. But I will always have a soft spot for Sonic 2 specifically. This animation is really cool because it just kind of establishes something in the manual of how Eggman actually tricks Knuckles into wanting to fight Sonic, wanting to throw hands and everything. And in general, I do think the animation work is very good. I don't think it's the same studio as Mimia's shorts, but it's a very similar art style. I like how Tails has 9 tails in that, or more than 2 tails, as he is a kitsune. Yeah, I really like these again. I wish they just played by default every time you booted up these games, even on a new profile, but it doesn't actually work that way. Anyway, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, for the first time in this playthrough, we are actually going to play Sonic and Tails, because, obvious reasons, you get a special fight if you're playing as Sonic and Tails, or just Sonic, even. Either way, we want to play as Sonic to actually get the final boss, which is kind of a big deal. I'm going to do my best to get everything. I cannot promise it'll be smooth, which is why I'm also not promising that I'm going to finish the game tonight, because I don't remember what the special rings are. I know where a lot of them are, but not all of them. Yeah, I don't know why the game seems way quieter than it was when I was testing out things. Why Origins instead of 3 Air? So, I actually tried to get that working, but I was having a lot of tech issues with it, it was stuttering constantly. I was trying all sorts of fixes and it would not fix it. So I ended up just sticking with Origins because it's consistent, I guess, because I just could not figure out what I was doing wrong with Air. Which is a bummer, because it would have been fun to try that out, but oh well. I've also tried like Sonic 3 Complete in the past, so maybe I should have gone with that instead if Air didn't work out, but oops. Kinda just thought of that just now. But yeah, convenience is the main reason. But hi, welcome on in. This should be a pretty smooth playthrough, all things considered, but again, there's the one downside of, will I remember where everything is in this game? Also, motion sickness warning for every special stage. I don't really like Blue Sphere, I'm not gonna lie, just because when it starts to speed up, it can be very disorienting. Like, micro adjustments, like a 90-degree angles are very jarring. Oh yeah, special stage retries, that's the other reason, because I'm actually really bad at these special stages, and I do want to get all the Chaos Emeralds. So just to ensure that we can have a relatively smooth time, I think that's one benefit. I don't know if anyone's actually patched that into Air, for example. But yeah, I don't know why I was getting so much stuttering. It might be like a weird frame cap that I had set. And maybe because I was running in windowed mode, but every time I tried running it in full screen, it was actually, like, it's barely not 16:9. Like, the resolution is slightly, shorter, vertically. So that was also throwing me off, so there'd be like, you know, slight black borders on the sides. Not a big deal if I had run it full screen, but also PC gaming just kind of gives me a lot of trouble in general. It's like, why, you know, even though consoles are obviously less powerful in a lot of ways, it's why I tend to still go with console versions, just because I have a better time getting them to run. Because I swear, like, PC gaming is just really fickle for me, to the point where I just kind of get frustrated. So that's why I always buy console games if I can help it. Even though the PC versions are objectively better in most cases. And it's like, I could fine-tune everything to get things working perfectly, but a lot of times, especially when I'm being extremely irresponsible and not actually planning for streams when I should be, things definitely can take a little bit more time than I expect. And if I'm doing things last minute, which, to be fair, the stream was very last minute, I almost did a game clearing stream today, but I couldn't pick a game, to be honest. I have like 2 game clearing games in mind, both are actually semi-relevant at the moment. But I've been kind of bouncing back and forth between Devil May Cry 1 and Guilty Gear 2 Overture, both of which should not be surprising right while I'm thinking about these games at the present time. But it's just a case of like, I didn't do like audio testing, or even capture testing for Overture. Hell, do I even have it installed? I should check if I have Overture installed, because I don't know if I do, now that I'm saying this out loud. Yeah, I just always grew up with consoles. Part of the reason is, as a kid, PC gaming was such a nightmare constantly that, like, we just kind of avoided getting PC games because so many of them barely worked in that era, unless you had, like, a special GPU. Which, I mean, is still the case now, but, like, back then, it's... like, all I had was a laptop, basically, and it wasn't even mine, it was, like, a work computer that my parents had, but... it ran games so poorly, I just got really jaded about PC gaming, which is unfortunate, because there are benefits to it. Also, hi Esper, hi Caitlin, welcome on in. Now we have the fun task of trying to figure out where the hell those last blue spheres are. Again, every special stage needs a motion sickness warning at a certain point. There they are. I almost pressed the button too early, or the direction too early, and completely botched it at the very end. Like with Overture, for example, I've actually talked about this a little bit before, but I've had this like dream for a long time of I really want to own every Guilty Gear physically in some capacity. Keyword in some capacity, because there are some that are just ungodly expensive, I'm not gonna lie. Again, I don't know why the game feels so quiet today. If you want me to turn it up, please let me know, because I can barely hear it, to be honest. And I don't know why, because my readout looks like it's the same as when I tested it last night. Unless like my computer audio got reset. I'm gonna check that really quickly to see if something got messed up on my computer side. Real quick, because again, the actual readout feels very low. Nope, that looks like everything's fine. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, moving on. There should be 2 more special stage rings in Act 2, but we are good for Act 1. So, yeah, truth be told, I don't know where most of the special stage rings are past Angel Island, so we are going to get 4 of them here, partly so I don't have to worry about it later. Sonic 3 is a big deal because it actually was the first for a lot of things. For example, the classic, you know, level complete jingle. Like, this one is not in some of the other games. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this up. This is really quiet. I'm gonna bump it up to, like... be a little cautious here, but let's put it like this, maybe? If it's now too loud, please let me know. But yeah, I don't know why it's so quiet. Now that looks like it's coming in really loud, unfortunately. Like the explosion of like the... Wow, what happened there? I just went right for some reason. Like, the music is really quiet. The sound effects are really loud. This is what I'm currently experiencing. At least on the readout. Again, maybe it's different on the stream, so again, please let me know. But either way, it's like... the choice of audio balancing Sonic games specifically, as Sonic, in my opinion, has some of the worst audio balancing of any video game series consistently that I've ever played. Like, every Sonic game has some kind of audio problem. Like, literally just look at any of the adventure games to see what I'm talking about. Like, it genuinely doesn't feel that loud to me, but the readout shows it being really loud, so I'm very confused. It's putting a subwoofers to the limit. That's true. It's like, it might not even sound that loud, but it's coming in louder, at least on the readout, just because of, like, what is being used, essentially. I don't know if that explanation made any sense. I am not an audio engineer. There should be 2 more sets of these. So yeah, if we want to actually get the perfect on this one, which for the record I don't care that much, you do have to like jump over a blue sphere here in order to not actually get the all clear on the actual ring transformation, and so you can just pick this up here. Again, we're not really gonna worry about that for my sanity, but it's worth noting. Yeah, it still feels really quiet to me. Again, this feels quieter than last time. Sometimes it could just be my capture card acting up, which I hope it's not. It's a fairly new one. Alrighty, Act 2. There should be one at the base of a waterfall. If it's the one I'm thinking of, this one shouldn't be too bad to get. I like how every Sonic game, usually later than the first ring, will actually give you, like, an automatic, like a freebie, essentially. So for example, like, you basically have to find that giant ring there, because they just launch you into it. So that's how they introduce the concept, but that also is kind of to pique your thinking of like, oh, if there's a giant ring here, I wonder if there are any others in Act 1 that I totally missed. So again, I think it's a really cool way of dealing with, like, tutorializing without, like, explicitly just spelling things out for the player. Like, it's a subtle way of doing a tutorial, and I really like it. So I think it's down here. Like, we want to drop down. And it should be, like, to the side. Nope, that is not it. Okay. I kind of sworn it was at the bottom of a waterfall somewhere, but I feel like I actually missed it. Unless it's right here. Yeah, I think it's here, actually. There we go, so that's 4 out of 7, so... This one is, like, not fun, though. Gonna be real. This one just gives me a headache, not gonna lie. I think the really bright red is what does it. It just really... It really does not agree with me. Some of these just don't. Shit. Yeah, I did not lock in there. We have 167 tries, so we're gonna be fine. It's just... It'd be nice to get through these really easily, but I don't trust myself. Hi Eden, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. We're just playing some Sonic 3. And Knuckles, but we aren't at the end Knuckles part, we won't be for a while. Again, I don't know how many streams this is going to take. I would love to finish it in one, but the way I'm playing, I'm not counting on it. I'm not gonna go for perfects. Me obsessively collects every goddamn ring, okay? Oh god, I'm getting motion sick already. This is gonna be fun. These are the easy ones. Yeah, the rapid turning, I think, is what constantly is throwing me off here. Oh god, I remember this part now. Well, time for the fun part. By fun, I mean the part I'm probably gonna botch at least a couple times. I should have done this during the speed up, not like before the speed up, but I did not think. Well, that sucks. That's a problem. So, the problem is, how do we get back to that blue sphere that we're missing? Because we missed oh, never mind, that was easy. I too must collect everything on my path in games, hell yeah. Me trying not to be OCD, also me ends up still being OCD about collecting everything. No, once we get to Hydra City, I have no clue where the giant rings are. If we find the giant rings, neat. If we don't, oh well, we'll try again in Marble, I guess, because I know where a couple are for sure. But yeah, I'm really bad at, like, memorizing things. Axel Kingdom Hearts would not like me, because I do not have it memorized. I like how I call him Axel Kingdom Hearts, because I actually don't know if he has a last name. I don't know if anyone in Kingdom Hearts has a last name besides Michael Mouse. And I mean related characters to Michael Mouse. Axel Kingdom Hearts, not to be confused with Axel Low from Guilty Gear. We had to get one in. That's funny. Yeah, they don't have established last names, yeah. You know, trying to collect everything, you see enough people obsessed with collecting everything in games that you don't really see a problem with it, yeah. I for one like collecting everything because I'm like slightly compulsive in some ways with completion. There are a lot of games I don't complete though, RPGs are the biggest, though Teenage Me did try to 100% Final Fantasy 13, and that was a whole thing if you know that game. So the way that game works is the hardest achievement in the game involves collecting literally every weapon, which is very annoying because you have to spend like a crap ton of money and get a ton of upgrading materials to actually upgrade every weapon. Also, if you sold weapons early in the game, you might not be able to get them back very easily. So yeah, that's not fun. That's been one of those like dream achievements, like someday I want 100% 13, because that was my first Final Fantasy. That might also be in this marathon, God help me, because I have 3 Final Fantasies that could, actually 4 Final Fantasies that could apply, 6 would also count, because that's when I got my wisdom teeth out. So yeah, I'm biting off more than I can chew with this marathon. I 100% know that. Like again, I'm almost to 50 games, and it will definitely be 50 if I had those 2 Final Fantasies in. But a lot of RPGs crop up later on, so Fox Girls Favorites is going to be a very long series, is all I'm saying. It'll probably be at least a couple years to get through all these games. But hey, it gives me easy planning, because I don't have to like think of games on the fly to be like, oh, what should I stream today? You go out of your way to beat every overworld enemy? Oh, yeah. Zelda 1 is interesting. Wow, my voice is already kind of shot. That's a good sign. For later. Yeah. hell if I know where any of the giant rings are here. I think we went the wrong way for one, because I think we need to be on the lower path. Never mind, we are now on the lower path. And again, the other, like, confliction I have at the moment is the, like, multi-versions. Like, for Pokemon, do I do Brilliant Diamond, God help us, or do I do, like, Platinum? And actually, like, the actual reason I say God help us is not because I actually dislike Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I actually like those more than a lot of the fan base, to be honest, but I say God help us just because the discourse around it, more than anything. I actually have a soft spot for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, partly because I was technically homeless when I played it, so I have a little bit of a soft spot because it helped me get through that month. And then actual Diamond and Pearl are the Pokemon games I started with, so some version of Gen 4 will be in there. But again, it's a case of, do I want to deal with everyone being like, ew, why are you playing Brilliant Diamond? It's like, I don't know if I want to deal with that, so maybe I'll just play Platinum. Plus it's like objectively better, to be fair. You actually have like a fire type you can find. So yeah, even as someone who's okay with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, yeah, no, there were choices made. Pokemon is definitely a series that's very much in a, I will appreciate these games from afar, but try not to vocalize my thoughts, because I just kind of don't want to get into them a lot, which again is the problem of, like, oh yeah, I do need to play some Pokemon games for this series. The Pokemon games I have planned for this are, wow, Brain. Okay, you cannot think while playing Blue Sphere. Noted. Wow, I already botched this. I'm just gonna take the L. Yeah, it's your first time playing Gen 4. Like, I don't think the issues with it would stand out that badly. Like, once they patched all the weird, like, bugs and everything, because it did launch in a pretty rough state, I won't deny that. I think Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is, like, legitimately, like, the best way to play Diamond and Pearl, but again, there's still Platinum to consider. But yeah, the three Pokemon games I would consider including would be Emerald, because of big life changes that coincided with playing Emerald for the first time. Platinum for Gen 4 rep, and then Mystery Dungeon. Explorers of Sky. I get called out by a Pokemon quiz. Oh joy. Ah shit. Okay. I did not lock in. I love Mystery Dungeon. I will still cry. I guarantee it. I've seen that ending twice. I will still cry during it. Same goes for like Final Fantasy IX. It's like, I was like watching someone play Final Fantasy IX the other day and I still cried at the ending. It's like, no matter how many times I see that ending, it always gets me. So that'll be something to look forward to in like 2027 when I finally get to Final Fantasy IX. The funny part with me streaming all these games is I had basically planned some form of streaming for many, many years. To the point that I definitely think I have too many plans, in a way. Hell yeah, Pokemon Emerald is like, you know, Gen 4 is the nostalgic game for me, but I think I like Emerald as a game slightly more, if that makes sense. Like, I recognize, I think I would say, wow, okay, Brain. Again, I don't know if I can play Blue Spheres and talk, is what I'm realizing. Well, that's a problem. Okay, we're good. Maybe. Yeah, I might have just royally screwed myself up here, but we'll see. Now we should be at the red spheres. And we'll just go up this path. Okay, so we only have one way to go, so let's hope this is the right way. Alright, okay. Thank God. Yeah, I think I'm also one I think is objectively like my favorite, even though I will usually say Diamond and Pearl Platinum because I have nostalgia. The other funny game I've thought about is Pokemon Channel. It's like ambiguously a favorite. I don't know if it really counts for this, but just for the fun of like, oh my god, Pokemon Channel, who the hell streams that anymore? Actually, Pokemon Channel makes it onto NSO, I'll be very happy. I don't know how that works like copyright-wise, because of like the dub and everything, but like I would love to have Channel on NSO. Yeah, you have the Insta-Shield in this game, you can actually take a lot of hits with it, which makes Sonic very broken in this game. Oh hey, Amy's even on the signpost there. The Pokemon Channel Renaissance. Also, Hey You Pikachu would be funny, because there's a mic on the system. You too can have Pikachu refuse to listen to you. I've actually never had an N64 period, so I'd be curious. I'd want to try it, just because I think it would be bad, but it'd be interesting bad. My philosophy with a lot of games is, I'm not opposed to trying most things once, which might be a problem, because I've been seriously eyeing, like, what if I played Balan Wonderworld? Like, would that be a mistake? Probably, but it could be funny. You know, recently I played Blink's the Time Sweeper for the first time, and I did not like it. I had a miserable time with it. But I was like, you know what? I actually am glad I got to try it, just because people do genuinely see a lot of good in this game. It was kind of nice to try it for myself finally, even though I did not like it. That's actually how I'm feeling about the original Halo at the moment. I'm also playing that on my spare time, and I'm not having fun with it. Though a lot of people have told me Halo 1 is very rough, so... At least I'm not alone in that. But either way, it's like, I'm glad I'm playing it, just because everyone raves about it. And I'll keep playing Halo, because like, 2 is apparently a lot better. It's really funny to me how certain games just end up developing like a cult status when they're actually like not great. But, you know, they start a series, so, you know, they are iconic. Where the hell is Tails? Because I need him for this next section, I think. Because if I do this... Oh yeah, you'll get locked in to going up. So yeah, there's Tails, god damn it. Where were you earlier? SMH. Because yeah, a giant ring is over there. So I'm like, damn it. Bummer. Okay. If I was just playing Tails, I could have gone down my own, but with Sonic, you kind of have to rely on the AI, unfortunately. Which is not my favorite thing in the world, when the AI can be horribly inconsistent. Oh, okay. This is the way we have to go. So yeah, in general, actually, hell if I remember what I was just talking about. I'm an overplanner. That's kind of where I was going with that. Where it's like I come up with so many plans and then have the horrible, crushing realization of, oh wait, how am I gonna do all these plans? I might have been off more than I can chew. So that happens constantly to me. I'm definitely having that about this series, because, oh boy, I have committed to streaming a lot of games, potentially. Some of them aren't that bad, it's mostly just Xenoblade I'm worried about. Xenoblade and Final Fantasy, those are the main RPGs I want to cover. Like 4 Paper Marios, well 3 Paper Marios and Mario and Luigi, so yeah. A lot of RPGs, so we're gonna bog down very quickly after this series. At least Superstar Saga isn't very long. That'll only be like 2 or 3 streams, probably. Yeah, I like planning. I like having things set in stone long before I need them because I don't like making decisions. I have horrible executive dysfunction. I actually need to add a few more games to my spreadsheet of planned games, because if I have a few more, that would actually qualify. Hi GB, welcome on in, hope you're doing well. I am trying not to get dizzy. And not in the haha funny guilty gear way, but just like, oh god, I'm like... It feels like the room's spinning, because it kind of is in the stage. There it is. Now we have the fun task of getting back to the starting area, because that's where the final spheres are. Okay, we got it. Now I just need to not botch this stuff here. And we're good. Again, hey, remember how I was like, we're not gonna worry about the perfects. It's like, okay, me. Just casually lying about that, but we're gonna get to a point where I stop caring. Hydration check. Oh, thank you. It's a good time while we wait for this to load. And yeah, what Aiden said earlier, it's like, yeah, I should play more randomizers too, that'd be fun. I also want to ask friends for some really weirdly specific advice. Because I know friends who do a lot of like game clearing type stuff, and I was like, I have a plan for Monday, and if you know me, this should not be a shocker whatsoever. When you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, this is a certified Yuna moment. So like, if I play a mod of a game that changes out the character, but the character also has a different moveset from like the normal gameplay, would that count as a separate game clear? Because it is sort of different, but also not really. Like, how would that qualify? And it's like not even like hugely different, just like a little different, as in like the character has one extra move, and like that's the only difference. So it's like, I don't know if I should count that as a game clear separately or not. Just artificially pad out my game clearing list, but at the same time it's like not really that different. Yeah, when you see what game it is, no one will be surprised when I'm cooking at the moment. Yeah, that's part of the reason I kind of wanted to get through Sonic 3 tonight, hopefully. And I know I had sort of talked with Zon about racing a game, possibly next week, but we'll see on that. She still has to take care of some things on her end, so that's kind of pending. Now that would be a game clear if I actually finished the race, oddly enough, because that is a game I have obviously never finished, because why the hell would I? Actually, no, I would have had a reason to finish that game. Like, it's not out of the question that I could have finished that game unless I had the console version of it. So, in a lot of versions of post-Mania Sonic games, you can actually hold up and press A to get Tails to start flying, and you can use that to actually pick up Sonic and carry him forward. However, you can also use that to just get Tails to fly into the boss and deal a lot of damage, so that's really nice. Make this fight a little bit faster. Alright, we're going kind of slow. This is a pretty slow playthrough, but we can actually pick up the pace as soon as we get the final Chaos Emerald. And then it'll bog down again once we have to look for these Super Emeralds. The good news is the Super Emeralds, I think, should be easier to find. I do have a guide up. I'm obviously having a hard time reading it while playing this game. Alright, not where I wanted to go, but I guess we're going this path. The funny part is I actually don't really like Sonic 3 as much as I used to. Well, like, I still kind of recognize it as one of the best, like, Sonic games, but I actually kind of lean more towards 2 and Mania for my favorites, even though I still recognize this as a very good game. Partly because this and Mania are a lot longer, like, they take, you know, more like 2 or 3 hours versus, like, 1 to 2, so it just ends up being a little bit more work, I suppose. So it's not as much of a pick up and play game, I say, as I compulsively play Resident Evil 2 Remake like every few months. Listen, I just really like Claire. I can't make that funny as funny as I used to, unfortunately. Like, a possibly twisted part of me does miss being able to just say, like, stuff about Claire, as in Redfield, and have all my friends be like, like, trying to figure out how to respond to because of reasons. Wait, is this correct? No. Let me do a little bit of trolling around here. Wow, I'm completely turned around. Never mind, we found it. Shouts to the original version of Sonic 3 in terms of, like, prototypes, because there are a lot of leaked prototypes of this game. It's how we know that there was beta music to begin with, and that ends up being the music used in the replaced songs in Origins Plus. Obviously, if you have the PC version, you can simply mod these back to the originals. But shoutouts to, like, an early PC build that instead of saying get blue spheres, it's get blue balls. You can probably tell why they changed that. It's like, wow, that is very unfortunate phrasing on that. Alright, 30... we actually can't get the rings. Unless the rings are just kind of scattered about, which I think they might be. But yeah, we are definitely not getting the perfect bonus this time. Actually, we might still have a chance. Kinda just depends on where the rings are. Okay, this is dumb, but we'll see if it works. Yep, it worked. Cool. Hell yeah. Still perfect. Now to completely F it up somewhere else. You know something I would love to show off, even though getting it to run would be... Frick. Okay. Damn. Something that'd be really fun to show off, even though it'd be impossible to get running. I've tried, for the record. There was an old electronic systems by, like, Tiger Electronics called the Game.com. I would love to show off a Sonic Jam port, quote-unquote, to the Game.com. It's awful. It's, like, grayscale, the music is, like, unrecognizable. It runs at, like, 5 FPS or something, it looks like. It's only, like, the first level of each game, and I think it's missing one of the games. I forget which one it's actually missing. It might be missing Sonic 1, but either way, it's, like, notoriously bad. It's like whenever people are like, oh... Yeah, I'm talking about Sonic Jam for the Game.com. It's like... It makes Sonic Genesis for Game Boy Advance look like a masterpiece. It's missing Sonic 1? Okay. I knew I was missing one of them. Sounds wild, yeah. The Game.com is fascinating. I think it looks awful, but it's fascinating. It's one of those pieces of gaming history that I find really interesting, even though from a purely objective standpoint, it was definitely a mistake. Now we have the fun task of where are the last 4 blue spheres? This is the same dilemma we were in last time. Yeah, it makes it look like Sonic Forever, which I think is like the... Is that a decomp or a... Ah, shit. I don't know why this one... Wait, is this the last one? Because that would actually make sense why I'm struggling so much. Because we found 4 in the previous. We might only be at 6 emeralds after this. I actually don't know. Decomp of the mobile port. Yeah, that makes sense. I knew it was something like that. Yeah, this is part of the reason why I was like, Origins does have like, some quality of life that is good, like being able to retry special stages, and I definitely need them in moments like this. My other gripe with Sonic Origins in general is just, how the old collections got delisted, because you could straight up use like the version of the Steam Genesis collection for like modding purposes. There's a ton of workshop support, including in my personal favorite, Sonic the Very Useful Engine. It should not surprise anybody that this is one of my favorite Sonic ROM hacks, with how cursed my sense of humor can be. Where the hell is this? Ah, okay. I'm like actually locking in right now. There we go, finally. Okay, we're good. We're fine. No need to worry. Hey, that's all of them. Cool. So we can just stop worrying about this until, Angel Island. Not Angel Island, Mushroom Hill. And with those, most of them you can actually get on, just Mushroom Hill, because there's like 7 rings. Not all of them are on the same path, though, so you do have to, like, get some elsewhere. Hey, fun story. I don't know where a single giant ring is on Flying Battery in any game. I don't know where they are in Mania either, to be perfectly fair. Like, genuinely, I don't think I've ever seen a giant ring on any incarnation of Flying Battery. On purpose, at least. I think I've accidentally stumbled on 1 or 2, but, like, again, accidentally being the key phrase here. One of the retro achievements for S3 and K is getting a perfect only moving backwards. Ew. Like, I know Freeze does retro achievements, but that just kind of sounds like torture to me. And it sounds to me like a great way for me to not like certain games anymore, if that makes sense. It's like more power to people who do retro achievements. But I feel like that is like somewhat opposed to how I enjoy games, which is often just ignoring achievements. Unless it's a game I really love, and I really want it on my, like, profiles completed. And then there's Sonic 06, I want 100% a second time, because I have all the achievements on my dead name profile. So I'm like, wait, what if I do it again? To have them on my current profile? Yeah, the GameCube ones I've heard are a lot. Like, the Melee set I hear is absurd. The only problem with that is I actually... Wait, what? The only problem with Sonic 06 is I don't have an Xbox controller at the moment. I only have later controllers, therefore I'd have to get like a brick adapter, probably. That'd be the best option. Because like third-party Xbox 360 controllers I don't really trust. Heroes has one that's borderline impossible. Please tell me more. I'm very fascinated to know what the hell they did with Heroes. Alright, boss time. Well, mini-boss time. This one's not that bad. What am I reading? How do you feel about going through Team Dark's Grand Metropolis without getting hit, finishing the stage with at least 400 rings, or well, 480 rings, and only using Shadow? What the actual hell is like? What were they cooking? What were they cooking with that one? That is like actually disgusting. I mean, it's doable. Like, there are ways to get around without like flight formation, power formation. It's just gross. It's harder than it sounds, yeah, I can imagine. I also feel like it might be well, actually no. Heroes doesn't have a spin dash. If you hit a formate, oh, forgot about that aspect. Well, at least the one benefit of that, well, small consolation, more like it, is I don't think Team Dark has as many transformation gates or switch gates as the other teams. Because they're the hard mode, so they kind of make you switch manually a lot more. So again, the one, like, almost saving grace of it is, like, not having as many as, like, Team Rose, for example. Has anyone actually gotten it? I'm sure someone's gotten it by now, like a speedrunner. But I'd be fascinated to see how it actually looks. Like in practice. Ah, okay. Almost got smushed there. Oh yeah, I forgot. This adds in something kind of interesting at the end. We'll see that once we get to launch space, which will be a bit, but... Also, if we actually get through this game too slowly to do it all in one stream, next time I might also, in addition to maybe looking at the Game Gear games, I might consider booting up like Mega Collection 2 and going through the bonuses in that version. My only issue with achievements in general is like incomplete collections. That kind of goes back to the FF13 talk, where on PS3 I had on my dead name file, PlayStation, I had every achievement except the one for getting every weapon, and it almost bothered me that I was like so close to a perfect file, and just I could not stomach the game long enough in that capacity to actually like get everything. Actually, I think what happened was like my sibling at the time, like it was their copy of the game. I think they sold it, so I couldn't finish like 100% it. Also, I think my PS3 controller was dying from an unhealthy amount of BlazBlue and other fighting games. Cause yeah, 2014 was when I was getting into fighting games, and I went through 2 DualShock 3s in like a span of a couple months, I want to say. Like, both of them stopped working. One was like the controller I had with the console, the other was a replacement, like a backup, and that one died almost immediately. Another thing I did was for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, there's an item where you can actually level up by just walking. So I just took a rubber band and rubber banded the control stick. That gave that PS3 controller drift. So hey, maybe don't do that if you're worried about that. Because I learned the hard way. But yeah, between fighting games and that look like Kingdom... Oh wait, that was a PS4 controller actually. That's a different story. Because I played the PS4 collection for Cage. So yeah, it's very funny how everyone... I was actually just having this conversation elsewhere too. It's actually fascinating to me how much everyone has trouble with like DualShock or like Joy-Con drift. But I have this like reverse curse where it's like I almost never experienced drift on Nintendo consoles. I did have a Joy-Con drift because of course those are just notoriously bad. But like I'm still using my Pro controller from 2017, like no problem. And like so many people have trouble with like Switch Pro controllers not working. But like every PlayStation controller I've ever had just has drifted horribly. It's like a reverse curse, yeah. Alright, I don't think we'll have enough rings for the boss to do a supersonic fight, unfortunately, because supersonic is good for this fight, IMO. Because it's kind of annoying otherwise, but yeah, we definitely don't have enough rings. We're at the fight already. Alright, so This is a weird fight. We basically have no ground. And as a result, Tails is having to help us. Tails will carry us the whole time, and we basically have to carefully jump off and hit Eggman. Tails will find you and help you if you do fall, but... It's a very creative fight. I like this. It's kind of annoying to get used to, but it is a fun fight, in essence. I actually don't know how this works with Sonic alone. I assume Tails just shows up for this fight, kind of like with the tornado in Sonic 2. The fight with Tails alone is surprisingly hard. I can also picture that, too. Hey, we get banger music time, and by that I mean no. We got the beta Carnival Night. The funny part is I actually don't like normal Carnival Night. Like, straight up. I actually think a lot of the removed for copyright compositions from Sonic 3 aren't very good. Yeah, I know that's kind of a hot take on my from my standpoint. Alright, okay, that's not the way forward. Hey, speaking of way forward, I don't know if I want to get into that, actually. But that Shantae GBA game finally came out. Sort of. It's only the GBA version. The other console versions are still MIA. But wow, I've not heard anything about that, actually. Except that the cartridges are in extraordinarily bad shape because Limited Run is gonna Limited Run. Which is actually weird, because I don't recall their previous GBA or like Game Boy release having issues. Like the original Game Boy Shantae re-release was fine. So I don't know what happened with this one, other than like different ownership now with Embracer. And then there's a huge expose on Limited Run, like literally a week before or something, like a week or two earlier. So yeah, Limited Run is not having a good like month. And that's kind of what they deserve, I'm not gonna lie. Because I have strong opinions on some of the practices at Limited Run. As someone who has a few Limited Run releases, I feel like I'd rather buy a limited edition from any other company. Like legit, when Fangamer announced that they'd be doing a Celeste anniversary reprint, I literally got it again, because I did not want to just have the Limited Run physical. I wanted a better quality version. Yeah, no objections to the Fangamer one. Hi Icy, thank you for the head pats. I need my own head pat emote. I say that every time. It's just a matter of like actually waiting, because I have someone in mind potentially for commissions. Flashing light warning, by the way. This stage sucks, because every time it gets hit, every block will start flashing. Well, that was easy. So the other funny thing is there are multiple betas of Sonic 3 that we know about, and some of them actually had different versions of these same songs. And a lot of the ones, the beta ones actually sound way better, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's actually frustrating how much better some of the later beta versions sound compared to the ones they actually used. Like, what even happened there? And I know they can't bring back the original songs because copyright, but even then, it's like, I wish they could have swapped out at least the better versions that we are aware of. I'm sure someone has. I think they could have saved them if anyone besides June did them. Yeah, they should have gotten T-Lopes. I mean, that's just the given. Yeah, people like match this to a specific early beta, and it's like, ah, they shouldn't have used this one as the baseline. They should have used like any other version. That probably would have turned out better just from having a better starting point. Funny part is I actually really like his composition work in anything other than Genesis aesthetic games. It's literally every time you give him a Genesis synth that things just go horribly wrong. Alrighty, because again, when they first were like, oh yeah, we're gonna use the beta songs, I was like, you know what, I actually like some of the beta songs better than the originals on like a, face value. So I was actually kind of excited about that, but then we got these like really not good sounding versions of them. Yamaha Y2612, damn. As of... I did not know the exact number of the Genesis, like, synth. That's interesting. There's a joke here somewhere, but... I'm trying to not die, given I've died twice already. Hope everyone's doing well, by the way. I know I said that earlier, but just to reiterate. My day has been okay, I think. I always feel like I give really non-committal answers to the question of how are you doing? It's like, I feel like I should be able to give a straighter answer, but there's a lot of things about me that aren't straight, so I guess maybe it's not that much of a surprise. I love making that joke for some reason. I make it a lot, too. There's just something very funny about it to me. Oh hey, Chine Ming. I kind of found out. Oh, god damn it. Immediately loses every ring. The other problem isn't even just, oh, June is back on this, like, Genesis, like, snare drum bullshit from Sonic 4. It's not even that, to me. It's that it sounds muddy. Like, the audio quality of the, like, these songs just sounds muddier compared to, like, everything else. And that almost feels worse to me than just the instrumentation being kind of wonky. Like, they just kind of crunch down all the audio for some reason. The other game I'm really struggling to figure out how to handle for Fox Girls favorites is Animal Crossing. Oh, hi Knuckles, I forgot you were here. I was like, oh wow, that level's a lot shorter than I remember. It's like, oh, never mind. Yeah, Animal Crossing is the one I'm really struggling with, because like, how do I do a life sim for a consistent streaming series? Like, something like Nintendogs I might just do a one-off for. But like, I have no clue how to tackle Animal Crossing. That's like the biggest, like, I am really uncertain of how to tackle that. We'll figure out something, I'm sure, but right now I'm just kind of drawing the blank. Because, Animal Crossing inherently is designed as a game to be played, every day. Or like, semi-daily. Which is a little bit hard when I only stream twice a week at most. Again, hey, we actually made it 2 weeks in a row this time. That doesn't happen every time. Again, Thursday seems like an alright day at least to attempt to stream. Ah, okay. That's on me for being clumsy. We get to see this again, I guess. I'm also doing like manual ads, but you still have like pre-rolls to worry about, which is really frustrating. So I might actually run ads before too long, just to get rid of pre-rolls anyway. So it's like this weird thing of like, it's not changing anything from the automatic ads, unfortunately. It's just I have to push a button instead of it happening on its own. So I might go back to the automatic ads if they still kind of force you into it anyway, just because of the pre-roll system. Twitch makes interesting choices. I don't know where the water is going. I don't know where I'm going. I'm going backwards. Well, like the Ice Cap song, actually, I don't mind it. Like the Ice Cap specifically for, Origin slash the beta. Like the Ice Cap song, I think is fine. I mean, I'll never say no to the original. However, I think that is the best one inherently in both cases. I'm also not a fan of either version of Lunch Base, to be fair. So again, that's a case where it's just like kind of indifference in both directions. Alright, okay. It's like, I should not be moving forward, should I? You prefer Beta Carnival Night, can take or leave Beta Ice Cap, hate Beta Launch Base, interesting. Cause yeah, I'm really not a fan of actual Launch Base Zone. I'm not sure what it is about it, but it just never quite meshed with me. Alright, okay. Here we go. That is not high enough. Let it be light. Yeah, once we get to the end of this, I might take a break, just also to get a stretch break again, because it's been an hour. So I should not be sitting for like an hour at a time. But again, the benefit of this is I can basically choose when to run ads slightly on my own pace, a little bit more. Which is an actual benefit of that. Instead of just being at the whims of, you know, a timer. Another one I'm really unsure about is Pikmin 2, just because Pikmin 2 is hard. It's like, oh no, should I really be committing to Pikmin 2 deathless? Because that's how I did the first game, and I would like to do the second game that way. At least you have saving every floor. Okay, neat. Like, Mania would sort of count for this series, but it would be a lot later, obviously, because that'd be like 2017. So yeah. Again, I might be putting too many eggs in this basket. Okay, we are zooming. I was like, did we break the game? Are we stuck in a loop somehow? Oh, okay. We're going this way, I guess. Works for me. Oh yeah, this is the boss, actually. Wait, huh? What? Hello? I've never seen that happen before. That's gotta be an Origins problem. That's so funny. I have no clue what caused that, but hey, you learn something new every day. So yeah, I'm gonna get up and stretch for a little bit and run ads, and then we'll come back and see how much farther we can get in this. Hey, guess who didn't hit the run ad button? So I guess we're running ads now. Sorry about that. So we're just gonna chill for a bit. Actually, while that's running, I think I'm gonna see if I can go back into the VOD. Like, how does this work? Yeah, while this is running, I'm gonna go back into the VOD, I think. I'm gonna see if I can clip that, because I want to have that preserved, because I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, this shouldn't take too long. I can probably do this in 3 minutes. I am... Wow, this is difficult to actually do. I've never used this like clip editor before. I'm like carefully trying to line this up. Have a good view of the actual glitch there. Origami King has such a good soundtrack. I have my qualms with the game, as do a lot of people. But damn, if it ain't a banger soundtrack. Wow, vertical clip editing is weird. I've like never tried this before. It is wild. Actually, no, it'd make more sense to have this one be that one. And like... Yeah, this is really weird to work with. Again, never done this before. I mean, it's cool that Twitch has the option to do this, but again, slightly unwieldy. And I don't think anyone's actually tried to clip anything on my channel now that I'm thinking about it. I've definitely never made a clip before, but I think this is a good first clip. Again, the ad is probably finished by now. Yeah, it's already done. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this clipped. Maybe I should do this later. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this on stream. Like, fiddling with the actual, like, bounds of the screen here. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'll do that later. Sorry about that. But yeah. Hi, welcome back. I didn't actually reset tracking. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Boop. Actually, I should... I always try to look slightly up, because otherwise it looks like my VTuber is constantly looking up. So yeah, that should be good. Alright, that was weird. But I guess we're just gonna keep going then. Never seen that glitch happen before, but I love breaking games in weird and unexpected ways sometimes like that. Like, I just think it's fun to figure out, like, weird quirks and then be like, oh, that makes sense because, like, you just scrolled the screen too far. Like, that's literally what happened, if I had to make an educated guess, is I scrolled the screen too far. And it just was like, oh, you're at the goal ring, huh? Okay. It's like, nope, you were not supposed to go that far. But, like, the boss spawning in everything, that was really fun, actually. We love, innocuous glitches like that in this household. Well, innocuous might not be the right word, given that we did kind of, skip a large portion of the fight. But I also don't feel like that's out of the question. Like, I was kind of thinking it might be an Origins problem, based on being widescreen. And, like, being able to basically load more of the screen at a given time, basically, than you're supposed to. But that's kind of just a theory on my part. I don't have the tech know-how to be like, oh, this is probably how Sonic 3 handles objects, but then I think about, like, all the weird, like, screen wrapping you can do. So, for example, in Genesis, like, specifically Ice Cap and Marble Zone are so tall, that you can kind of get it to screen wrap if you, like... All it takes in the original is to do this, and then jump, I think, in some cases. Like, if you do that, or like some kind of trick like that, you can straight up basically jump to an early part of the level, or like a later part of the level because you're like vertically wrapping around the level. Tails is having a time, we see. But yeah. That's my theory, at least. I don't think that's an unfounded theory. I feel like that lines up with my understanding. But I also think of like Mario, where like Mario 1 has big issues with screen wrapping, where speedrunners, for example, have found out if you actually screen wrap enough, you can actually basically trick the game into putting you in the wrong warp pipe. This is used a lot in Mario 1 speedruns because you can actually get through certain areas faster if you basically trick the game into thinking like a coordinate is not the one you're actually at, essentially. At least that's kind of my understanding, which totally means I need to talk about buses and frame rolls next. And totally act like I know what I'm talking about on this topic when I absolutely do not. I don't know if I trust that. Okay, this one doesn't go all the way up, so this should be fine. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. Ah, okay. Not fast enough, okay. Wow, we are not finding any checkpoints in this level. Yeah, this is gonna be a 2-stream game, or at least like a 1.5. We're not gonna finish this in 1 stream at this rate. Because we still have all of... and Knuckles to go through in like an hour. So that's not happening. So yeah, we have only one more zone of 3 after this, so we might get through Mushroom Hill, in which case we can at least try to get all the Chaos Emeralds, which would be nice, or most of them. Yeah, I'd like to at least get through Mushroom Hill. To be fair, Sonic and Knuckles is a bit longer too, so I don't know how long that'll take. In general, I almost feel like all the Sonic games are taking a lot more time than I expected them to, which I'm trying to figure out if that means I'm just not as good at these games as I thought. Like if I just overestimated my ability to play Sonic. Or if I'm just like taking my time more. I mean, we're definitely having some issues along the way. Another game I really want to play on stream is Sonic Advance. Because I've actually never finished Sonic Advance, I'm pretty sure. But also, what counts as finishing Sonic Advance? Because I don't remember how the Chaos Emeralds work. I think it's bad, either way. Advance 3 is interesting because that's the one I grew up with. I have never finished it, though. If you go by true ending, I never did Advance 3. Because I did not have enough patience as a child to look up every lost Chow. Let alone actually doing the special stages after finding the lost Chow. Turns out childhood me was very impatient. Frankly, current me is also very impatient. Something about the song feels really wrong to me, in terms of like sounding like it belongs in this game. And I feel like that's a weird quirk of the Sonic 3 music is, these are songs that were explicitly made for the game, before they made like the deal to like swap out the music. So why do these songs sound so out of place? Is it familiarity with the other songs, or is it because Jun Sonoe just remixed them very oddly for this collection? It could be both. Sorry, Tails, you're blocked outside. Shoot, actually. Bit of both, yeah. I actually would like to get some more rings for this fight. Or not, okay. It's kind of weird repurposing the Sonic 1... God damn it. Repurposing the Sonic 1 special stages for, like, just ring minigames in this game. Though, I mean, that's kind of the same with Blue Sphere and Mania. Now we have 0 rings. There's like 3 minigames depending on how many rings you have going into them. The best one is like one where you have these giant orbs that you can basically like launch yourself off of. These orbs are actually like main level gimmicks in Mania, which I think is really cool. Wow, my luck is awful today. Advanced 1, the problem with Advanced 1 is the stages themselves. Advanced 2 is getting there, and Advanced 3 is a bit of both, but neither's as bad as the other two by comparison. Yeah, I need to give Advanced 3 another shot. I really want these games to have some kind of port. Again, I mean, if they're on NSO, it's still M2, to be fair. But yeah, I just want some re-release of the Advanced games, like, genuinely. Yeah, again, it'd be the same company either way, because M2 does the GBA NSO app, from what I recall. Kinda wish they did some of the other apps, not gonna lie. Instead of being done in-house, given that M2 does very good work, like with the Castlevania collections. Which, frankly, I still need to play more of. I mean, by that I mean I need to play them at all. I have not, actually. So I gotta... Oh, right, they're a THQ. Oh, well that's awkward. So like, at least it's not as like non-canon as Pocket Adventure. Because Pocket Adventure is like straight up in like the void because of SNK. Like, I remember Ian Flynn said that he basically couldn't even mention that game by name because of copyright reasons. I mean, if any game is gonna be lost, quote-unquote, Pocket Adventure's not a bad one, because it's just Sonic 2 again, but with, like, little story beats to kind of tie it into a bridge game between classic and modern. So it's kind of cool, actually, but also just, it's Sonic 2 again, ostensibly. But also with Sonic-themed music, which is weird. Alright, the collections this month for Capcom. I still haven't put much time into the Marvel collection. I also wasn't nearly as like excited about the second collection just because I'm not the biggest SNK fan. For a multitude of reasons. One, nostalgia, and two, vaguely gestures at the elephant in the room. I feel like I had this exact same conversation last time we played Sonic, though, so I'm gonna refrain from ranting too much about SNK. But in general, I do feel kind of like... I genuinely expect this collection to actually sell better than Sea of the Wolves, and if so, it's deserved, truth be told. The one issue I have with this collection, from what I gather, is like competitive standard seems to be different than what is actually being enforced. So for example, there's like different versions of different games. The ranked modes for CVS 2 uses like a rule set that basically isn't used because it's like broken, but like with roll cancelling. Like roll cancelling, the version without roll cancelling is the one for the actual ranked mode. Which is like, I kind of get it because it sounds very... It's kind of like wave dashing or like snaking and like 2 or like Mario Kart or something like that, where it's like... It's kind of just baked into the competitive scene of this game at this point. Like, what if you just go to a Melee tournament and say, oh, you can't wave dash anymore? It's like, no one will want to compete in that, like straight up. So yeah, that's kind of the complicated part about, like, rule sets. The other big game before that was X-Men vs. Street Fighter. They added in the other versions, but the ranked mode still uses the last patch rather than the one that people actually like to play competitively. Hi, welcome on in. We're just finishing Sonic 3, specifically. Again, I'm not sure what to do, because, like... This took a lot longer than I thought it would, to be fair, but we're definitely not finishing. So we're definitely not finishing and Knuckles today. But also, if we do too much of the and Knuckles portion, we won't have anything to do next time. So realistically, what we'll end up doing is then pivot to a game clearing stream, where I try to go through a couple of the Game Gear games. Probably Triple Trouble is the one I'm eyeing the most. I've already beaten Chaos on my own time, but I can't remember if it was Genesis or like Game Gear or Master System. That's another beef I have. The last Master System re-releases of these games was for the Wii Virtual Console. So I really wish for like Chaos through, well, Sonic 1 through Chaos, I wish they had just kept the Master System versions as an option, because it's just kind of like a glorified, you know, Game Gear in a way. A Game Gear, but not portable. But also, like, Sonic has a nose, for example, in Sonic 1. Like, because of sprite limitations, Sonic literally doesn't have a nose in Sonic 1, which just looks really off-putting. The other thing is, with Sonic 1, they actually got rid of, like, issues with, like, screen scroll. Like, you can die in Sonic 1 because the screen, death plane is moving, and they, I think, fixed it for the Game Gear version, from what I gather, so there are benefits to the Game Gear version. It also just looks kind of bad, though, so having the option would be nice, is kind of what I'm saying. I am all for options and collections, and I wish games more would take the Capcom route, or just have every version as an option. In general, though, I am, like, looking forward to this, like, Capcom collection. I'll probably pick it up at some point, but I'm not, like, in a huge rush. With Marvel, I was just kind of, like... I'm more invested in MVC as a brand, I guess, so I kind of wanted to support the series. Despite not actually playing the collection as soon as I get it. So yeah, it's a case of just kind of wanting, and also because I thought it'd be stupidly rare. It's the Scott Pilgrim problem of, I own Scott Pilgrim. I have not played it. I've never engaged with any media about Scott Pilgrim, but I own the game because the game got yanked from digital storefronts like many years ago, and I, as a result, was like, oh hey, a physical copy of the limited run print of Scott Pilgrim for like $5. It was on sale really cheap for some reason at like Best Buy one time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy this to have it. Like, I don't care about Scott Pilgrim as a series, but I want to make sure if I ever do, I have this game, because I don't know if it'll be sold in the future. That's a case of, like, I need to actually get a crew together if I want to, like, game clear that. Because that does not seem like a fun game to play by myself, I'm gonna be real. But again, like I've established already, I'm not really a beat-em-up person. But with friends, I think I could have a good time with Scott Pilgrim. But I also need to actually, like, read the graphic novel or engage in any media about that franchise, period, as well. You know, off screen I should have looked up like a guide for or like a level map of Mushroom Hill to see where giant rings were. I kind of forgot, to be honest. So oops, I don't know how many emeralds we'll be getting in Mushroom Hill. So yeah, we actually skipped CD for this little mini marathon, so I'm also conflicted on what to do with that. Like, do we go back to CD later? I'd also be less concerned about actually doing it through Origins, just because Sonic CD, I don't know what I'm trying to say, actually. Like, it's not really a favorite of mine, I'm gonna be real. I'm not super into it. I like it, but it's not like... It does not qualify as a favorite, even though I enjoy it. 2 and 3 definitely are childhood favorites, 1 is not. So, by that logic, CD could also count. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out here with my planning. And again, with SA2, I already did an SA2 playthrough so recently that I'm just gonna skip it. Maybe someday I'll go back to SA2 and do like a randomizer or like 100%. Actually, I want to do 100%. I want the achievements on one of my favorite games. CD is fine on anything except the original. The one problem with CD on Origins is the audio mixing is bad. Hi Kuro, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. We're almost done with Sonic 3, I think. But we actually have a surprise in this version. They add something in that like every version adds in. So it's like, this is cool! If like every mod didn't already do this. So it loses some appeal as a result. But you'll see what I mean in a moment. I also definitely want rings for that thingy to make my life a lot easier. Basically, compared to just the normal, like, console version of the Sonic 3 mobile port, the FMV cutscenes, like, the vocal songs are, like, cranked up really high for some reason, compared to every other re-release of the game. Like, noticeably so. But yeah, to some extent, it's like, oh, the audio is bad. It's like, that's kind of just a Sonic game at that point. It's kind of tradition. Shit, Tails, help. That's not what I call helping, okay. But hey, after this level, we don't have to worry about the music of this game. Again, I don't dislike the beta songs, I just don't like them either. In a lot of cases, again, I actually kind of like Ice Caps. Alright, do I remember how this fight works? The answer is a resounding no. Oh god, we are in trouble for the bonus thing. Owie, that sucks actually. So yeah, there's a bonus fight. This is a common thing to add back into like Sonic 3 Air, Sonic 3 Complete. Basically reincorporating the final boss of 3 that normally is skipped in 3 and Knuckles. I always like that little cutscene of just Knuckles trying to stop you and failing perfectly. Yeah, the other Act 2 boss. Again, I'm pretty sure if you lock on the actual Genesis games, you skip this fight entirely on the original version. But again, a lot of versions add this back in. Let's see if I... Oh wait, there's this fight. I forgot this existed, not gonna lie. See, this is why I want... Okay, this is just a mulligan at this point. Cause, hey, there's no way I'm getting through this fight with no rings. Oh, you do fight this in 3K? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we have to do everything over again every time, which is my favorite thing in video games, is when you have to redo a large chunk of the game, because you died. I couldn't have had... It's literally the only problem I did the first time is I couldn't remember if he shot top or bottom first. So he goes top first, which was very unfortunate for me specifically. Big armor swap by Knuckles in 3K for some reason, probably because he's designed to be the hard mode. Like, it kind of makes sense for Knuckles to fight that, just because he is designed to be more challenging. Wow, this is a big-ass map. Okay. Let's see if I can even see the giant rings on here. Yeah, I can. Somewhat. Okay. Big Arm is also like really trivial in Sonic 3, which is really weird. Oh, not Sonic 3, in Sonic Generations 3DS. That's where the 3 came from. Ah, the Insta-Shield is gonna be my best friend in this. Oh good, one ring for this fight. What could possibly go wrong with this? Does he even have an attack now? I don't think he... Oh, yeah, just one more hit, okay. That makes sense. So hey, this is where the fun begins. Let's see if I remember how to fight this piece of shit. It's 12 hits, right? Okay, I can just totally whiff. That works too. What you doing? Tails, please. Oh, okay. That was a good cycle. I'm pretty sure actually in Origins, he's supposed to be able to knock you out of your super form, but in Origins specifically, it actually doesn't work because Origins is gonna Origins. Alright, first try. I can't believe I died at the easy fight and struggled. Or, yeah, and got through the hard fight, no problem. I used to be really bad at this fight. Probably because I didn't understand how the Insta-Shield worked. That's actually a bug fix. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was on purpose. Weird. Legit thought that was intended. Alright, so this is where the fun begins for emerald hunting. The rest of the stream might just be Sonic. Might just be Mushroom Hill. Also, I love this, how the Sonic Knuckles title screen is used as a transition cutscene for the two games. Yeah, I personally like that change because it kind of makes him seem really powerful. But if it's a bug, it's a bug. Again, a lot of love was put into this version. It just comes down to Sega didn't give them time because they insisted on this being an anniversary game. Sega and rushing out anniversary releases, name a more iconic duo. So yeah, the fun task of where the fuck are the giant rings? Here. Alright, yeah, A+Star worked on it. They had a couple people from Mania come back, but one of them was too busy because they were working on Penny's Big Breakaway. Which I hear was really good. I still haven't gone to try it, admittedly. He's working on the Chaos remake. Ah, that's cool. I forgot that existed. I knew about 16-bit Triple Trouble, but I forgot Chaos was also getting a fan version. I've also heard really good things about 16-bit Triple Trouble to the point where I should do that, huh? Like, I should play that at some point. This is the part where I say, hey, heck in the rings. I'm just gonna go for clears. You have Amy now? Well, I guess I'm sold. See, I would like Blaze, but why the hell would she be put into this game? Is kind of my feeling on that. So it's like, if you can put Blaze in a fan game, I'm gonna want to play as her, but again, a lot of classic games, a lot of classic mods don't really do that for obvious reasons. Oh, shit. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. We're fine. We're all fine. I always quote that for some reason. It's part of Star Wars when they're like disguised as stormtroopers in the New Hope. And Han Solo's like answering the comments like, we're fine. We're all fine here. How are you? Like, I quote that a lot. Just, you know, in my day-to-day life. Cause that's basically me when trying to like commentate. It's like, yeah, yep, totally know what I'm doing. Totally not fumbling. We're trying not to fumble horrifically. Alright, next giant ring. I'm just... There used to be like a fan site that had a really good guide. I can't find it anymore. So I'm having to like physically look at a map to see where these giant rings are, which is not convenient in the slightest. Looks like the next one's over there, so I'll keep an eye out. Again, this is kind of just... We're gonna play this like Sonic CD. We're just gonna go around Mushroom Hill trying to get all the emeralds we can. This is also a very nostalgic zone for me. Again, I grew up with Mega Collection as my first Sonic game. Played the hell out of Mushroom Hill, because I'm not good at classic Sonic sometimes, so I would just get walled at one level over and over again. Yeah, I'm using Sonic Retro for this as a reference point. Which pulley is this? Okay, it's this one. I think this is actually good. I want to be kind of in the middle path here. Again, if I was smart, I would have looked this up, you know, last time I streamed and not had to do it on the spot. But hey, I make good life choices when it comes to planning. I've planned out like all the games I want to stream for this year, but I couldn't like look up a map of where anything is in this game. That's how I roll, unfortunately. Okay, I'm just gonna double check in here. So I don't know where I am relative to everything else in this stage. Okay, so I'm down here now. It might be better to drop down here. Yeah, I think I need to drop down here. Oh, hey! Look at that. See, I can direction sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Oh shit, this one. Alright, fun. I want to say this one has a really mean part at the very end, so we'll probably have to do this one a few times. Your wall was Carnival, that makes sense. Carnival Night's kinda rough, to be honest. I'm scared. I don't like this one. I'm not even gonna bother with the rings. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Yeah, I think you have to do like a turnaround at some point. And that's like really stressful. Never mind, the turnaround I think is for rings, and actually that might be a mania thing. I don't quite remember what the deal is there. Alrighty. Just checking something really quick that is relevant to me today. Alright, so that's that giant ring. Next we want to stay on the lower path, it looks like. Okay, so I was just kind of reorienting myself a little bit there. So, what's this all? Oh wait, that's not the one I thought it was gonna be. Oh, okay, we're actually doing better than I thought. I forgot that one was there. Sick. Yeah, I was looking at a totally different one. Totally forgetting that there's an easy one right there. I could do something very gutsy right now. I mean, I didn't get the rings, but whatever. We're not going for perfects here anyway, so I don't really care that strongly. Should be only a few more left. Probably somewhere over here, I hope. Ah! I didn't press left soon enough. Okay. I probably won't go for that terrifying jump again. I'm just gonna play it straight, which again, there's a joke here somewhere. About me trying to play it straight. Did I actually get both there? I hope I did, because if not, that would be very awkward. There was also a glitch at launch where the music didn't speed up with the stages, so that was very disconcerting. Like having you go really fast, but the music is still just the default speed. Again, there were so many problems that they did end up patching. To the credit of Sega, they patched a lot of the problems. Not all the problems, but a lot of them. Alright, this one's kind of weird to get, if I'm not mistaken. We have to do like a weird mid-loop jump to actually get to a lower path here. Actually should be right after this, so... You're playing things straight, that's your thing? Well, I mean, we could say I'm playing it gay, but I don't know if that quite rolls off the tongue as well. So yeah, this loop here, we have to like carefully, like, as we're looping up to the upper part, we basically can like do this to go over and get another giant ring, hopefully. Piece of cake. Alrighty, number 5. Shit. I do this so much, because you have to like back up. If you hit the orb again, you teleport out. So that just wastes a special ring. I wish you couldn't do that. I legit don't know why they let you do that. Hey, fun thing, the game autosaves, so you can't even reload. You're just stuck if that happens. Again, that's not an Origins problem, because I've definitely done that in other versions, I'm pretty sure. Well, that's awkward. We might have some problems as a result. It kind of depends on how many we can find in Act 2. But yeah, the funny part is I was actually gonna say that, like earlier. I was gonna be like, yeah, normally I accidentally screw up here because I accidentally go, like, I step too far and then, like, warp out. It's like, I was literally gonna say that, and it's like, oops. You can get one of the Chaos Sapphics instead. Sapphic Emeralds. I mean, I'm already a Chaos Sapphic, depending on who you ask. Yeah, I'm kind of like just inching here, because again, after screwing up that last one, it's like, I'm not bursting with confidence. So yeah, we need to actually like loop up here, and this should take us to another one. So yeah, live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow, don't step on that again. Again, I do that like once a playthrough, at least one time. Like, you'd think with how many times I've played this godforsaken game, I would remember at some point, but nope. I like how I describe things as godforsaken a lot. I don't know where I got that from, I just think it sounds cool, I think. Like, it just kind of makes it sound like an RPG thing at that point, like... JRPG boss, basically. Speaking of RPGs, I really want to play Clair Obscure. I keep hearing about it. It's like everything I see about it is like, other than maybe violence, which again is my main concern with it, it does look extraordinarily up my alley to the point where it's like, I really want to try that at some point. Super impressive too, because like again, I can't remember if I already talked about this during the previous Sonic stream. It wouldn't shock me if I did, but with Clair Obscura, it kind of was like a game that always looked up my alley, just like the first trailer for it was giving me vibes of like, this is like a storytelling trope that I think I really enjoy. So like, I knew going in that it was like there was a very high likelihood of it being a game I would enjoy, basically. So when the game finally came out this year, and it was like a 92 out of 100, everyone's already like, you know, Clair Obscura could easily be Game of the Year material, depending on how things pan out for the rest of the year. That is way better than I expected it to be totally honest. I thought the game would be like an 85-ish at best, just because, you know, up-and-coming team, Unreal Engine 5, when, to be fair, the technical performance I've heard is not as good as it could be, which tracks for the engine. Oh, did I take the wrong path? I think I did? Where the hell am I on this map? Yeah, I think I'm too low now. So yeah, I need to actually go back up here, I think. Like, go back here. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm gonna get this emerald first. Or next. So yeah, it's one of those games that I was expecting would be really good, and that it would be, you know, up my alley and everything, but it just being as good as it is, I think that's why I'm, like, legit kind of taken aback by how positively it's being received, and I'm glad it's being positively received, because again, it seems like something that'd be up my alley. Ah, okay, I forgot about how this one worked. This is the turnaround one, okay. I will say the one slight gripe I have with Clair Obscura is just how the discourse around the game has been, in terms of like, everyone's just using this to dunk on Final Fantasy. I talked about it a little bit in like a discussion one time, but it's giving off like the same energy as like Bug Fables and Paper Mario, where it's like, I prefer when people praise games and lift other games up in a way that doesn't tear other games down. It's like, I understand having grievances with, like, the direction of current Final Fantasy, but I almost feel like, you know, using Clair Obscura to, like, complain about it is like, I don't really know how to feel about that. But that also just goes into my mentality of I like to hear about games on their own merits a lot of times, instead of on the merits of, oh, this is just that game but better. Like, even as someone who doesn't like Final Fantasy XII, a lot of people are like, Xenoblade is just Final Fantasy XII but better in terms of like combat system. I kind of miss the, whatchamacallit, the Gambit system. Like, truth be told, because the Gambit system is really broken in 12. Almost too broken, to the point where it's like, it kind of takes the fun out of the game, actually. Like, the final boss of Final Fantasy XII was weird, because I barely did anything. Like, straight up. I basically didn't do anything for that fight. The game was basically just on autopilot for it, and I won. Like, no problem. Alright, slight fear. Oh, it's this one that you have to jump over to actually get the rings, if you're going for it perfect. Alright, that should be this one. So there should be like 2 more easy to... maybe 3 more easy to get ones from here. Actually, that one might only be for Knuckles, now that I'm looking at this. But it looks like there is one more that we can get as Sonic. that should put us here. Do we go through this? We can't. That's actually a good thing. Yeah, that's just kind of my philosophy with game discourse, is I genuinely do prefer hearing about games on their own merits. Yeah, okay. That's a problem. Like, Sonic is definitely the same way, where it's like, oh, this is just indie Sonic, but, like, good. It's like Spark the Electric Jester, where it's like, oh, what if you have 3D Sonic, but it's good, is how, like, a lot of fans will, like, hype up that game, and it's like... I feel like being reductive about Sonic is just making me less interested in this game. And again, this is coming from someone who actually really wants to play Spark 3 or whatever one it was. I think it's Spark 3 I'm thinking of. Is it not here? No, it's actually next one, okay. It's down here. Neat. 2 more to go. Alrighty, let's see what fresh hell we're in this time. Okay. I'm trying to think of any other examples, and none are really directly coming to mind. But again... Pokemon's another big one, actually, because, you know, we have the elephant in the room currently. The legal ramifications of which I don't really have the spoons to go into in detail, but in general, the concept of, like... games inspired by Pokemon, I think, is actually a good thing, for the sake of competition. But, I wish people didn't make their personalities about Pokemon likes, basically, is my take. It's like, I really want to play Cassette Beasts, and I don't feel like I hear that fanbase being as vocal about, oh, it's just Pokemon but good, in the same way that I hear, like, other fanbases about their monster catching games, if that makes sense. I am completely turned around. Shit. I survived way longer than I probably should have there, so I'm proud of that, at least. I remember this one being pretty bad from my situational awareness, to be honest. Like, this one always just throws me off, and it just kind of disorients me. I think that's ultimately my problem with Blue Sphere, is it's very disorienting, especially the harder stages. You wanna do something kind of sacrilegious? I've been using the control stick the entire time. A lot of people get very like, oh, you should use D-pad for 2D games, and I kind of agree, but for a lot of times I just kind of autopilot into using the control stick for some reason. It depends on the controller. This is a pro controller, so yeah, not the best D-pad in the world. In all fairness. But like, I just find it kind of comfy to use the analog stick. Probably because I grew up with the I think I've talked about this before, but I grew up with the GameCube primarily as my first like 3D console, quote unquote. I did have a PS1 but barely used it for much, but panic. Okay. I think the GameCube controller having such a not good D-pad is the reason I just got used to using D-pad for a lot of these games. It's just, you know... Yeah, good luck trying to actually use a GameCube D-pad for a 2D game. It's not fun. Well, there's a couple more. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're fine. It's kind of weird that the Super Emeralds look more like the current Chaos Emeralds than the actual Chaos Emeralds in this game. I'm looking at a guide. I'm trying to figure out if this is a Knuckles route for this last Emerald, or if we can actually get that as Sonic. If so, we'll get them all. I actually don't like the DualSense. The DualShock 4s is alright, but I actually don't really like the DualSenses. It feels a little mushy to me. But I'm also like mostly using it for fighting games at this point where, yeah, I have heard that complaint a lot for that D-pad in particular. Alrighty, last one. I've legit considered getting like some kind of fight stick or something, because I play so many fighting games nowadays, and by that I mean mostly Guilty Gear. I've legit thought that I should just pick up a fight stick at some point. The one problem is I don't know which one, because there's a part of me that actually really wants a leverless for some reason. I don't know why, to be honest, but there is a legitimate part of me that thinks having a leverless would be nice. Makes it go to Tetris controller? Interesting. Yeah, this one actually does feel a lot easier than the previous one we did. Okay. Don't want to jinx. Okay, we're good, I think. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, that's the final Emerald. So next time we can easily just wrap up the game. We can just kind of speed through the whole thing. So I definitely need to come up with a different plan, because we're definitely getting through this game relatively quickly, if we don't have to worry about emeralds. And close that tab. Nice. So now we can be hypersonic. Alright, with that taken care of, we don't have much left of this area, so we'll just kind of skim through the rest of it. For some reason, I feel like my overlay got kind of messed up somehow, and I don't know how that would have happened, but some of it looks a little, like, missized. That was so dumb. I was gonna flex and show off the super form, but oops. Got that out of her box. This feels like a Sonic Advance fight, to be honest. Like, Advance 2 has a lot of, like, running fights, which I actually think is a cool concept, having never played Advance 2. I'd be really interested to see how that feels. Alrighty, I'm kind of trying to decide what to do now, to be honest, because on one hand, we could keep going with this game, but again, we won't have much for next time then. It's fine. Same kind of happened with Kitsune Tales, where we really didn't have a whole lot left. If I was in a position where I could actually push the stream longer, we could definitely finish it just tonight. But given that I actually do have a strict deadline tonight, yeah, we ain't finishing the game in half an hour. I can say that much for sure. I'm not that good at this game, even though we can fly through a little bit more easily now. Not like that, though. That was just reckless on my part. Flying Battery is probably my favorite song from Sonic & Knuckles, to be honest. It's a really good song. I'm glad the stage is in Mania. Another game I'm kind of on the fence about is Sonic Riders, because that is another game that I do have a lot of nostalgia from my childhood. But I actually Don't know if it's actually enough of a favorite of mine. I enjoy the game, but I don't think it's like a, you know, top game ever kind of a thing for me. Alright, try this again. Again, we might just call it soon anyway, just to save a certain amount for next time. And then just kind of mess around with this collection, and again, maybe boot up Mega Collection too, to go through the gallery. So yeah, we'll have stuff to do next time, but again, the Sonic 3 portion I don't think will be too long next time. It's like, hopefully, because, you know, if it does go long, then we did something terribly wrong. Yeah, next Fox Girls Favorites is gonna be really long too. It's the first RPG, not really long, it's like 3 streams, but that's the first RPG of many. Okay. Cool, made it through that, no problem. Oh yeah, I forgot there were enemies in that one. The other thing is, for 3D Sonics, I don't really think any qualify as like an all-time favorite for me. I love Adventure 2, and I love, like, aspects of, like, Colors, Generations, Unleashed. But I think I'll only do Unleashed. Even though I also really like the HD version, I think Unleashed is the one I have the better memories of, so... Makes sense to do that one, but other than that, I can't think of any other, like, 3D Sonic games that fit the bill. Which, I don't know, that feels weird to me somehow. Like, I almost feel like... I kinda legitimately want to ask this, to be honest. Like, what series am I associated with at this point? I mean, actually, if we finish this game fast enough, we could just boot up CD also. CD is not a very long game, so that probably wouldn't be too bad as a backup as well. The one downside is, yeah, I could also just go through it with Gems Collection. Yeah, I mean, Guilty Gear is the obvious one. The problem is Xenoblade, I don't talk about as much just because everyone wants to dodge spoilers for it. My hope in terms of, like, presentation is to be a variety streamer. From the perspective of, I don't really sit on one franchise for too long, which is the inherent problem of childhood, me not playing anything other than Mario for a solid year or two, in terms of, like, you know, big childhood games, so... We got a lot of Mario at first, and now we're getting a lot of Sonic. So I legit want to... kind of stagger things. Like, Partners in Time is a good example of this, where, you know, Partners in Time would qualify, but... if I'm already doing 4, maybe 5 Mario RPGs, I don't know how many I should tack on, basically. Game? Okay. I thought I made the little capsule beep too, but I guess maybe not, or Origins might have broken it. Also, truth be told, I don't think Sonic and Knuckles is as good as Sonic 3. If you were to ask me to pick one half of the game, I would pick Sonic 3 in a flash. I would not pick Sonic and Knuckles, because there are good levels here. The bosses are bad, in a lot of cases. Like, I genuinely dislike this boss because it's just waiting. I don't really like the Lava Reef, because that's even more waiting. So yeah, I just think Sonic 3 has better bosses, and Sandopolis is Sandopolis. So yeah, I think the Sonic 3 half of it is inherently a lot stronger than the Sonic and Knuckles portion. Which is kind of backwards, because you'd think the one that would have more time put into it would actually be better, but it's not. Actually, speaking of which, Sandopolis is after this, isn't it? Like, this Sonic & Knuckles feels short to me. I don't know why, because, like, if you do the math, it's like the same number of zones, even if you take out Doomsday, I'm pretty sure. But for some reason in my brain, Sonic 3 just feels like a more, like, complete game than Sonic & Knuckles, which feels like, kind of like it's missing something. It's a Return of the Jedi problem, actually, I think. Where it's like, this is the conclusion to a cliffhanger, so it kind of can't exist as much without the first part, if that makes sense. Though again, Sonic 3 also feels incomplete in the other way, by not having, an ending, per se. Yeah. Sonic & Knuckles just kind of feels more plodding, like the levels are just long, and so they just kind of drag out a lot. Alrighty, gonna launch ourselves up there. I need to be more careful, I want rings for this fight, because it sucks. Okay, guess, so much for that. We got time. Oh, okay, we got a lot of time now. Like, Flying Battery is great. I actually like Death Egg quite a bit. Mushroom Hill's nostalgic at the very least, but like, Sandopolis is such a drag. I think it just kind of brings down a lot of my opinion of this game. Which is a bummer, because in concept it's not bad. The fun part is, like, Mania. Because you have Mania combining aspects of Oil Ocean and Sandopolis. I'm like, why would you take the gimmicks of two of the least popular zones and put them in the same game? I mean, it kind of works in Mania, but it's also just like, who thought this was a good idea on paper? To like, oh yeah, let's combine these two. It's just like, I wonder what the logic behind that was. Yeah, Mania is almost like, you know, for favorite Sonic, that almost feels like a kind of a cheating answer in a way, because, like, of course Mania is the best one, because it, like, builds off of everything else the franchise did to that point. I mean, in terms of also just being done by, like, a separate studio in a way, and so it has, like, a different... It took different things from it than the main series. I want more games like that though, not just for Sonic, but just in general. Like, different interpretations of series I think are really fascinating. Like, just seeing what fresh blood can bring to a franchise. Good enough. We'll be able to find one ring before the end, I hope. The funny part is Mania is, like, longer than this, I'm pretty sure. Because Mania is, like... What way is the way forward? I totally forgot. Mania is, like, 2 to 3 hours for me, usually. So it's like, it's pretty decently long. And yet, for some reason, it doesn't feel as long as, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And I think that's the main difference, is the way it feels is not great. Like, it just feels like it takes forever. And we can just cheese this fight. Like so. Are there two bosses here, actually, now that I think about it? Because I'm pretty sure we have a separate Eggman fight after this, too. I should have jumped into the thingy to go out of super form. It's fine, but I definitely should have thought of that sooner. Nope, not enough height. Damn. Yeah, higher highs, lower lows, I think. Sonic Mania is just kind of consistently good. The low for me in Sonic Mania is probably Oil Ocean. Also, this super song is, like, awful, in my opinion. This is original, and it's, like, literally why. This is why I wanted Super Form for this fight, because you can just deal a ton of damage. Come on, do your thing. Yeah, I'm realizing Knuckles has a lot of problems of just having to wait for a boss opening. The Panda song was right there and they used it for New Blazer? Oh wow, I didn't actually think of that. Yeah, Sandopolis is next, isn't it? Yeah, this game doesn't feel that long. If you actually break down numbers, it's like, yeah, no, these acts are pretty like, there aren't that many zones, but it just feels like it takes so much longer because Sandopolis is so bloody long. And on that note, I think we're gonna stop here for this stream. We're gonna just vibe for a bit. This is not the file I have everything unlocked in, unfortunately. Which is a bummer. The really funny part about this is they have the Angel Island zone from Smash Bros, but they have to like give it a really cryptic name of like... Trying to find it. SSBB remix, but they can't say Smash Bros directly because... obvious reasons, but yeah, this is the version of Smash. It's actually a decent arrangement, I think. A lot of these I think are like Generations versions, maybe? Like, yeah, this is Generations for sure. You got a lot of, like, concept art. You have all the box arts. You have, like, various calendar illustrations, which I think are also in other collections, too. You know, IDW comics, which are kind of cool. Never really put much time into that, or any time into the IDW comics. Yeah, a lot of these are, like, from Sonic Screensaver, like... galleries. Art for games that aren't even... well, actually, no, that's in here, sort of, because... Game Gear Spinball. Hey, what if we do that real quick, just to show it off? Yeah, you can access a bunch of Game Gear games. I would like to game clear some of these someday. Specifically Adventure, like I said before. Triple Trouble, Adventure, Blast, just to see how bad it truly is. These two are hard as hell. I would love to beat these someday, just because they're fascinatingly difficult. G-Sonic? Wait, what? Oh. In the menu? It's like remix at it? That doesn't surprise me. But yeah, in general, I think this is actually not as bad. Huh. Oh yeah, good feature, bad feature. I was like, it just occurred to me, I was like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, yeah, the different timelines, that makes sense. This version does have all the, like, both American and Japanese soundtracks for everything. So we get this bizarre song. I have no clue what they were thinking with this one, to be honest. So yeah, if we play Sonic CD at any point in this stream series, we will probably use the Japanese soundtrack for obvious reasons. The other funny part is originally when they added a bunch of songs in, the Knuckles Chaotix songs were completely mislabeled. Like, they had all the songs in, but they all had the wrong titles. Which was like, how the hell did that happen? Yeah, everything from Sonic, from Knuckles Chaotix was like completely wrong. US special stage theme was so good. I can't even remember if I even got to a special stage when I played as a kid. It's like the training mode song is almost last, because they just renamed it. They didn't move it back to the actual spot the Door into Summer was in this original menu, which was earlier on, if I recall. So yeah, this is definitely a mess of a release. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that much, to be honest. But again, I think it's still not in too bad a shape. And again, on PC, you can just mod out all the problems at this point. Yeah, not bad progress. I almost said not good progress, but yeah, that was actually pretty good progress overall. Hopefully we'll be able to wrap things up next time. And then kind of mess around with some other things too. I don't really have a raid message in mind, but given that they have raided me a few times, I do think I'm going to try to raid somebody. I think they're probably gonna wrap pretty soon now. So I actually don't know. I am investigating. Yeah, I do not know if they are still streaming. Ah, they are. Cool. So yeah. Hey, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for coming out, for showing support, as always. Really appreciate it. We have been raided by this person a few times, so let's go raid Freeze. They were doing a Pokemon Ultra Sun Ice-type only run. Which sounds very interesting. I'm totally not biased for being interested in ice types. Yeah, no raid message, because I can't think of any, to be honest. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope everyone has a good rest of their evening, and a good rest of their day, depending on time zones and whatnot. But yeah, I just completely messed up my elbow by like stretching too far. That sucks. So yeah, next stream will be Monday. I have a special surprise for that stream. Again, it will be completely unsurprising when you actually see what it is, but more on that later. And hopefully we'll stream again on Thursday. Again, maybe something special on Thursday too, but again, I need to actually talk with Zon on scheduling stuff. I know she had suggested next week, but we'll see on that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Good night, y'all!